Hi guys, it's I Just Facts Made here again. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a short video on how to cage or how I caged this cupped corset. So if you want to know how I did this, stay tuned. Okay, so first of all, I went ahead to use my Regilene bone. Remember that I'm working with an 8mm Regilene bone. I went ahead to iron the boning first, the Regilene bone, so that it can give me that flexibility. Okay, so I went ahead to iron it first, and this is the first one I already did, and I'm going to be doing the second cup and then showing you how I achieved this. And yes, we haven't really been consistent here because this is the season and I'm being really busy. I hope everybody's doing fine and you've been able to deliver all your clients' job. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is start off with my first boning. Remember that after your interfacing, you're going to put a little wadding, not fully but just halfway, okay, just like I did here. Then I'll go ahead and then fix in my second boning to go all the way around. Remember that your first boning is coming on top, the second one is coming while connecting it inside the first one. Because it is a caged boning, it is a caged cup, you have to make sure that it is entering into each other. Okay, I have a previous video on a caging on a cup as well, so you can check my channel to see something like this, but this is a different pattern, this is a different design. The next thing I'm going to do is pass it into the middle where I did a 3-part cup. So I'll be passing it into the middle to also place this boning on it. Now when I'm done with this, you know that you're running stitch from the middle point, you're running stitch on both sides, but the beginning and the round curved up Regilene bone, you're only running on one side first. Yes, when you're done running on one side first, before you go ahead and couple everything together, when you're done fixing all of your Regilene bone. So for this one, I'm going to go ahead and run my boat stitch, and then I'll go ahead and do the fourth one, which I'm putting my boning on the part where our cup is joined together. Yes, our cup is joined together, so this is like the midpoint of our cup. So I'll go ahead and put my Regilene bone. Now please note that each of this process is very important. You see the upper part, you see the round part, you see the part in the middle that shows your 3-part cup design, and then this midpoint. They are very essential for your caging, because this is what will make your cup to either fall or stand. It will either make it firm or it will either make it collapse. Okay, so now the next thing I'm going to do is the second part where we have our bust point. Yes, and this is also another important area. The second part where we have our bust point, I'll go ahead and also cage. Now notice that everything is moving smoothly and everything is entering into the initial first and second Regilene bone that we placed on this cup. The first and the second Regilene bone we placed on this cup is where everything is entering. Now this is another one. Now this is the new trick. Okay, so I just did only to the bust point area, to the 3-part cup area, and then all around. Then I'll be using this to connect it to the end. If you check, it is going towards the side and entering into that initial Regilene bone for a cage. You can see what it looks like. Okay, so yeah, this is the new method I just decided to try out, and it actually came out really well on my cup. So you just repeat the same thing again to the other side. Now I'll advise you that you use your either your pencil or your chalk to just outline all of these lines before starting. Okay, but I did not need to do all of that because I knew what I was already doing, so I just went ahead and went with the flow. But I'll advise that you do your markings first, especially if you're trying this for the first time. I'll advise that you do your markings first, before you go ahead and sew your cups. So now basically this is everything. The only thing that's going to be left is to do my boning on the 2 sides now. Okay, because you don't want any part to be weak or to not be firm. So we have to make sure that the boning is touching almost all the parts but then we are not overcrowding this boning. We are not overcrowding it, but we are making sure that we have enough boning on every corner. So now you can see what it looks like. This is the finished look and it is very okay. Now next I'm going to do is now close up the part that we used as our doorway to every part of the boning. Yes, remember the upper part and the part that went round is the part that we used as the doorway to cage our boning. So when we are done, it is very important to close it up, just like I did here. So I've ended up closing it, and I had already prepared the main cup for this corset. So I'll just go ahead and show you how you fix it. So this is how you fix it. You're going to fix it closing the upper part, closing the upper part and then turning it back to the front. You know that the caged part will go inside of your cup. Yeah, so basically the next thing I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to get either my warden or my my fiber. This is a fiber. I prefer to use my fiber, so I went ahead to get my fiber and flesh. So now you can use your fiber, and when you're done using your fiber, you can still cover with your hairstay. You can use about 5 or 6 layers of your hairstay if you don't have a fiber, and you can use your warden, but for me my go-to is always the fiber. So I'll just reduce the thickness of my fiber because I do not want it to be too foamy, but yes, you do not want it to not also be foamy. So just make sure that it is a medium weight that you're working with here. So after reducing it, I'll go ahead and hold it down with my pins and then sew it all around. Yes, I'll sew it all around, making sure that you're sewing only the parts that was caged, because you do not want the other parts that isn't caged to be covered with this fiber. Okay, you do not want the other parts that isn't caged to be covered with this fiber. So I'll just go ahead and sew it all the way to the end. Just ignore that little man that is disturbing his mom. All right, so when I'm done, I'll just go ahead and pull out all of the pins, and this is what we have here. I'll also, of course, go ahead and trim off the excess fiber that I have. Remember that you're only fleshing the parts that was caged. So I'll go ahead and trim off the excess fiber. All right, thank you so much for watching. I'm sure you learned a thing from this video. This is what the finished look of this dress looks like. See you on my next video. Bye. Ciao.